It can be said that before the bombings of October 12, 2002 and October 1st, 2005, many were confident that this balance had been achieved. According to McRae, traditionalism is a form of modernization taking place in Bali. This assertion is true in that the seemingly exotic dances, art and ritual practices, as well as the temples and other magnificent architecture of the Bali landscape has for years attracted many to its shores. Tourism and a cash income still remain a large part of the economic health of many in Bali and has increasingly become a vital need for the spiritual health of those trying to balance both worlds. Pre-made offerings can now be bought by people too busy to make them for themselves, and cash has now become an acceptable form of offering to the gods in special ceremonies. A banjar, or village, can now hire experts to coordinate the elaborate community or family ceremonial events. Upon the invitation of William Ingram to a Makaru purification ceremony in Rumaroda, dressed in proper traditional ceremony attire, we were overwhelmed by all the different artistically pleasing ceremonial rituals going on at once and the elaborately assembled offerings that lay in their designated areas, but more surprised to hear that they had to import palm and banana leaves for this ceremony. The traditional dances that were performed in the outer courtyards of temples, which are forms of prayer and entertainment for the gods, are also changing. Many are being shortened in length or added to for the convenience and entertainment of tourists. We felt a strong obligation to return the favor.
Muite ko! Muite ere!
Many Balinese are not unsettled by the trends of modernization. They do not feel that the sacredness of their rituals and dances are diminished because of tourist, purchased offerings, or imported natural materials. Imari Narka said something that helped make sense of this seemingly odd attitude while we toured the village temple, referring to the changes made in the Kachek dance to make them more comedic and entertaining. He said that if everything in the dances were always the same, it would be so boring for them as well as their audience. This gave us the sense that people in Bali have a healthy and practical attitude about change. They also have gained a better sense of the need for change to be negotiated by the values of the community. In this sense, McRae's assertion of modernization coming in the form of traditionalism is also true, and that many Balinese are now participating in a process McRae calls deglobalization, moving back to their more traditional, sustainable ways of life. An emerging campaign known as Ajak Bali or Sustain Bali is gaining momentum. It is a campaign to continuously and wisely control development in Bali to protect the prosperity of the people without sacrificing fundamental values and the environment. More importantly, a campaign to ensure that development is based on local values and ways of life from the past that has proven to bring harmony and peace. We began to ask questions, many questions like, how do we protect traditional, spiritual values, integrity, and practices that are the ties that bind a community and still move forward in the modern world? Can we find a balance between the traditional and modern, or human and nature? If not, what gets sacrificed in the process of development?
We felt like we found a ray of hope in the battle for balance in the little coastal village of Soraya, a 2-hour drive east of Ubud. In the fishing village of Soraya, indigenous weavers are part of an alliance of peoples throughout Indonesia belonging to the organization Threads of Life, a foundation headed by William and Jane Ingram. The foundation is helping to promote alternatives to global market trends that have previously proven to undermine the livelihood and cultures of indigenous peoples. It is their mission to commission weavers to recover the skills of their ancestors, creating exquisite textiles to standards seen elsewhere, only in museums, with the use of natural resources.
It's a dramatic change from what we saw in Ubud. It's a huge change from city life to here on the East Coast. The quality of life is so much different. It's enlightening, but it's also it's hard to see. It's hard to look at, and you want to help them, but you just don't know what to do. But it's an amazing experience that tourists who come to Bali will never see because they never come to this part of Bali. So.
Threads of Life sponsors the weaving of textiles that are traditional, naturally hand-dyed, and handmade. They work directly with weavers, personalizing the relationship between the producer and the consumer. They provide advanced payments for pieces that often take years to complete, which safeguards the industry from the potential or temptation to maximize yields in order to meet consumer demand.
They're trying to create a marketing strategy that will work to support the weavers in their other marketing endeavors as well. I feel it's a niche market. We're not trying to sell to the world. It's a group of people who are interested in supporting traditional culture. And why are they interested in that? Wanting to participate in some idea of sustainable development.
The foundation offers an alternative to methods of mass consumption and production. They promote quality over quantity, thus giving indigenous peoples a niche in the global market. But the impacts of organizations like Threads of Life go so much further by helping to sustain culture, by restoring pride in traditional ways, elevating traditional textile skills and products to its rightful place as art forms over the label of crafts that deny the artistic expression of weavers. More importantly, by empowering women, who are the majority of the weavers for whom textiles are directly commissioned from, and by conserving nature, maintaining a connection between human and nature by using sustainable, harvested natural dyes. The Weaver Cooperative in Soraya is not totally dependent on the income they receive from their weaving. They also rely on subsistence farming and fishing, which from an obscured perspective, Soraya seems a backward society. Ipak Karya, parish leader, guide, and now our dear friend, stated that the co-op has also been using the revenue earned from their textiles to help their community. From repairs to community meeting houses, to paying for the education of children, they are helping themselves to empower themselves. Ipak Karya lamented proudly on the savings and loan the Weaver Co-op started, an idea they took from the trend of other co-ops doing the very same thing. In this way, they are able to help their fellow villagers in times of emergencies, charging only a simple one-time interest fee, a service that they would otherwise not be able to extend. The co-op also serves as a positive alternative for youth who are not able to afford a formal classroom education. Through the co-op, they learn valuable traditional skills and also earn needed cash income.
Do you intend to return after that, or that's be open to that?
My name is Anna.
In Soraya, it was again the youth who impacted us emotionally. Their curiosity and happy demeanor inspired and reminded us of how precious the gift of innocence is. Their laughter was contagious. We found ourselves laughing along with them, wondering if they were laughing with us or at us, as we all reverted back to our childhood selves, if but for a moment.